In this Cardano update, now that the Vasil hard fork has been confirmed, we're going to be looking at the DeFi applications that are going to be launching very soon that we can actually go ahead and use Cardano for its actual use case, which is decentralized finance. So I'll leave timestamps in the description for some of the different applications I'm going to talk about. But the Vasil hard fork now is actually happened already. We have to wait for the next epoch for this all to go through, which is on September 22nd this week. Really, really exciting. It's been months and months in the waiting. It had been pushed back, but it is actually going through now. You have to wait for the next epoch for it to be confirmed and for that actually to take place. But as you can see by Charles here, Rocket is in the air. HFC, that's the hard fork combinator, request submitted and accepted. So that's it. Now, this is going to happen no matter what. So if there's any bugs or anything that no one's ever seen, then it's going to be a big problem. But obviously, everyone's tested this. It's been running, on different versions, and everyone's happy enough for the Vasil hard fork to go through. So September 22nd, this week is when it's going to go through. So big congratulations. But what we want to look at now is, what is the future now that this hard fork has actually happened? Because the hard fork itself just enables other apps. So here is the deployment timeline. As you can see, September 22nd is the mainnet hard fork combinator event. And then September 27th, you have new Plutus features and Plutus cost available on mainnet. So that's very important as well. So, this is going to be more throughput and potentially ways for applications to reduce transaction costs and reduce the amount of data that they use as well. So this is great news for all of the apps that I'm about to talk about. I'm going to be making some updates for the crypto investor course this month now that the Vasil hard fork and Ethereum merge are out. Just an update on the market, what my thoughts are, and some extra videos on using DeFi definitely across Cardano as well. So check out the crypto investor course in the description if you want to have a look at that. There's over 200 videos and it gets updated for free over time. What we can see, this is the DeFi landscape on Cardano right now. Now we are in an awful bear market and a worldwide recession. So, to think that things are going to be going up in terms of TVL and everything, it's obviously not going to happen. But what we can see is slowly, look at the apps on Cardano now, right? Every few weeks, you just see this number going upwards. And we have a launch this week, which was AADA Finance, which is a lending protocol. And as you can see there, TVL still very small, but we are actually seeing the first lending apps come out on Cardano. So this is great news, and there are more to come. What we can see though from Tim Harrison here is the amount of projects building on Cardano. Now, most of these are still NFT collections. I've said this before, in my opinion, NFTs are going to be a very small part of things, but it's just where we are at the moment that NFTs are easier to launch as in comparison to, applications for DeFi and lending, which are inherently more complex. But I think DeFi is going to take up much more of this pie over the long term, marketplaces and everything like that. But 1,100 projects actually going on Cardano right now. Let's go over to AADA Finance though. AADA is a lending and borrowing protocol, and it uses NFT bonds, right? So when you issue a loan, you have this NFT, and all of the the loan and the borrow are basically tied up in this NFT, and you can actually sell off that loan to someone else through the NFT, right? So you can sell the loan, the obligation, and then they will buy it off you if they want to obviously take up that loan. But let's have a look at the actual platform itself, so we can go over to the app now. A kind of very truthful analysis of this is like version 1, right? And it's very basic, but that's what's to be expected. AADA just launched like literally this week. What we can see here is fixed markets. So you get all of the different parts of the loan that are fixed when you actually take it out, right? So you have the loan here, which is the tokens that the borrower wants, right? So they want to loan those. So you have to have that token. They're using AADA as collateral here. This is good for now. I would love to see stable coins being used as collateral, to be honest, as well. Maybe they want to do that or not, I'm not sure. Obviously, AADA is going to be used as collateral. Now, important to know is that when lending comes on, as you can see, AADA is being used as collateral. Now, part of the reason that Ethereum is worth so much, in my opinion, is a couple of different reasons. Firstly, the protocol makes a ton of money, which obviously gives fundamental value. But a lot of Ethereum is tied up as collateral in other contracts, like for the DAI contract, which is that stable coin, many lending contracts on Aave and Compound and everything like that. ADA is starting to get locked up. This is good news for ADA because you have this locked up in these contracts as collateral, right? So that's very good news for a kind of people want to lend something or borrow something, they need ADA. Now you can see the interest here is fixed and then the term is fixed. This is very, very different to something like AADA, which is a floating interest rate market. So it's a supply and demand market where people can input and output assets all of the time. So you can borrow and then you can pay it off and then you can put some stable coins in, take them out instantly. And these the supply and demand dictates the interest rate over time, and it's a variable rate. This is different and this is fixed. Maybe it's something because they're using NFT bonds. Maybe this is just something where they haven't been able to do a floating rate market yet. That's a downside for me personally because you have a fixed term here, and that's not great. For what I do as well is lending stable coins on AADA and things. I want variable rates and I want to be able to take my money out straight away. That's a big thing for me. But some people are fine to tie up their funds and lend out certain tokens. As you can see here, the interest is fixed. You can just click on lend, and then you see the terms of the borrow right here. So you can go ahead and confirm that. You obviously need the tokens to lend out to them. You can see the interest rate, and then collateral is what they have to actually fund their borrows. So interesting, very basic. I would love to see variable rate markets. Maybe they're coming. For now, it's a fixed market, which I think has a very niche use case, but interesting nonetheless. Another project that's going to launch very soon, though, is Liqwid Finance. This is waiting for the Vasil hard fork to launch. So don't have a specific launch date here. I think they're still working on things, but Liqwid seems a lot more like Aave to me, where you have supply and demand that dictates interest rates over time, and this looks to be a little bit more liquid as the name suggests, but you can see many different ways to earn here. So you have ADA, so you can put ADA on the platform. You keep your staking rewards with ADA. As long as ADA is in your wallet, you always have those staking rewards, which is great. So you don't have to worry about liquid staking derivatives or other tokens. In practice, to be totally honest, for the end user, if you're lending out some tokens, apart from some potential centralization risks that liquid staking derivatives actually give you, in the end, you're getting rewards from the liquid staking derivative and lending them out. So, potentially, there's more than one ways to skin a cat, right? And yes, there might be some centralization risks to LSDs, but with ADA, you don't get that. You keep your ADA staking rewards, and then you can mint something called QADA here. Now, if you've ever used Aave, you'll know you get an A token, right? So if you lend out wrapped Bitcoin, you get a wrapped Bitcoin, right? AWBTC, which is just showing you that you have that asset on the platform being lent out. These can generate interest as well. If you lend out the token in a pool, obviously you get the interest rate from that pool. And then you get some other ways to earn yield here, which is for the time being anyway, at the start, they'll be giving LQ tokens as a bonus, which is the platform governance token. Then you can use those LQ tokens to actually go and stake them as well. And they have something, I believe, called a safety pool right here. Now, if you've used Aave again, they have a safety pool, which is essentially a pool of tokens that is there just in case there are any liquidations that don't get filled. And so they have to use those LQ tokens as basically a backup. If you stake your LQ tokens, you might get slashed in that event, but you also get a staking reward for that risk as well. So yeah, many ways to earn yield on Liqwid Finance. Really excited about this one. They haven't launched yet, but you can see their roadmap here, and they are waiting for the Vasil after that to actually launch. Another app that has now confirmed their launch date is Maladex on the 28th of September. I'm really excited for this DEX because they're promising a lot of things that I never really thought I would see on a decentralized exchange. Yes, on centralized exchanges, but this is a DEX that's going to be bringing some really interesting features, especially for more professional use cases. And this is a really big market. So I'm interested to see how this one is going to go. There's so much happening on Cardano with launches right now. And you just contrast that with like the worst macro situation that I've ever seen. So, or one of anyway. I came in just after the global financial crisis and had to trade through that fallout. But this is really one that I've seen kind of coming over the hill. But for Maladex, really interesting how they deal with a lot of different things on ADA using EUTXO. So what you can see here is programmable swaps, dollar cost averaging. So this is great. I never thought I'd see this on a decentralized exchange, but I want to see how this works. So you can potentially set up dollar cost averages of tokens through Maladex, which you know, a lot of people do, and that's really interesting for a decentralized exchange. So you don't have to use centralized exchanges for that if you want to do that. Crypto indexes track the performance of the entire market sector. These are products that are really important, and for me, for someone that's worked in finance before and knows the scale at which these products are traded, you know, ETFs kind of things, right? Tracking different parts of the market. These are products that professionals really want, and they actually, you know, request these types of things. So this is really, for me, it's like, this is the most professional thing that I've seen. Most dexes, you'll see them like themed with like, you know, Pancake Swap and Sushi Swap, right? They're almost a joke, right? But this is obviously really professional, saying we have, you know, professional ways to, you know, put together market sector indexes. So yes, this is maybe slightly more kind of on the professional side, but this is what I kind of have a lot of experience with. And so I'm really interested with this. As you can see, crypto derivatives as well, engage in options trading, covered calls, collateralized trades. This is incredible stuff. These are huge professional markets that Maladex are going for here. And, you know, if they can produce decentralized versions of this with very low cost, this could be a real winner. So yeah, maybe it's just my kind of professional background that gets excited about that. And there are big market opportunities in that part of the market. So very interested to see when this one launches. If you do want to check out the Crypto Investor course, link in description. Some updates are coming this month, which are exclusive for course members and free of charge for course members as well. So link in description if you want to see that. I'm James with MoneyZG. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.